Hi everyone, masofdas here for a quick video. I just want to talk about the Xbox One and the One X in relation to it. Last week, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, we had an update on Inside Xbox, which is like a show Microsoft now do on. You can watch it through the Xbox. I think it's on Mixer or something, which has got a lot of updates. It's a bit like a Nintendo Direct, but like they have like a studio now for like a few guest interviews, and there's a bit where they even try like sell you stuff like QVC. It was really weird, but they announced a bunch of original Xbox games coming. I think 19. Some came already, some are coming the rest of this month. I downloaded one of them myself, Panzer Dragoon Auto, mainly because it's quite expensive physically, and I kind of wanted to give something back to the backwards compatibility team, so that's why I did the download, so they get something, because Microsoft aren't like charging you for this. It's not part just on Gold or Gold Game Pass. I mean, you can have a huge physical collection, and they've done all this work, and you're not giving Microsoft anything. And obviously, a lot of these games do look better. That's sort of the thing I want to talk about. Out of the three systems at the moment, you obviously got the Switch, PS4, and the Xbox One, like the main system. If you look at like Nintendo Switch, there's still no virtual console. When that comes, Nintendo's games are the best games. I don't think there's any argument there. When they add Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, Wind Waker, Super Mario Sunshine, Melee, Double Dash, like Fire Emblem on like the GameCube, if they have GameCube games, so that'd be fantastic. But it's not there yet. Sega have announced, Sega Ages for Switch. You can buy games individually on there, very similar to the 3D classics on the 3DS. That's cool. That's like it's Sega games, not Nintendo. Slightly different. And if you look at PlayStation, obviously you got some remasters of PS3 games. There's remasters of Wii U games to Switch, and there's 360 games to Xbox One, like Master Chief Collection sort of thing. So if you do that, and obviously third party, but from like PlayStation's back catalogue, like PS1, PS2, and PSP, there isn't a lot there. There's PS2 classics. They announced it. They put some games out, better resolution, trophies on it, which is a big thing. The original Xbox games don't have achievements, but the resolution, the emulation is far better. And obviously, like the streaming, that's pretty good. And we had a load, and then like they've totally dried up. So it's not much aside from Sony thing. And look at Xbox with these original Xbox games. The original Xbox is 16 years old. For someone like me, this is like my teen years. So I used to play a lot of multiplayer, like LAN and stuff like that in Halo. And actually, I'm becoming quite nostalgic for this generation of consoles, which we will talk about in a Pod of War coming up after the 5th gen one we just done. And like the Xbox One Duke, which is like the first thing you saw in this video, that's really cool. It is £70 though, so I don't know if I will buy one or not, because it is a bit of novelty when you got an Elite controller to use the Duke over that instead. But it'd be neat to play original Xbox games with that, and that's like the main thing what Xbox is doing here. I've been a bit critical, others have said it, and like their exclusive output has not been good with the Xbox One, but like all this sort of fan service, I guess you would say, or like community stuff, get people talking about Xbox. Like I've been I'm talking about Xbox now due to this, and get people playing the system and showing like there is stuff to go back on, and like the community, like something for the fans. It's just not original Xbox games. Like Gears of War 2 is playing at the moment. That's just had an enhanced update, and obviously there's a bunch more coming, like Red Dead. That looks really good. And it's just not these original Xbox games and the 360 games. I'm not as fussed about the 360 games personally, because it was last gen, it's more fresh in the memory compared to like a 12-year-old original Xbox game. And obviously that sort of had like Panzer Dragoon also, what I'm playing now, that looks really good. That seems a bigger jump to me than a 360 game on to the Xbox One. It's just not these game. And especially if you look at Game Pass, which I'm a huge fan of, gives me the opportunity to play games I wouldn't have played, paying like the £8 a month. At the moment, I'm currently still in a deal, but State of Decay 2 is coming up. Would not play that game, but for £8, I think I'll check it out. I've still not checked out Sea of Thieves after the whole like it does lack content, doesn't lack content. It's it's mainly just cosmetics and trying to get it's better with mates and trying to get a few down. Most of my online friends are on PlayStation. There is a few obviously on Xbox, like I said, with the podcasts, you know, Gizmo and stuff. So there is people to play on there. But if you look on Game Pass, it's got a lot of old Sega games on it, due to Xbox Live and backwards compatible. So you can play like Streets of Rage, which is obviously going to be a game for gold game for me. So you got all these Mega Drive games. You've got some rare games on like the 360 Xbox Live, you know, Banjo and things like that. I think Perfect Dark might be on there. And then there's obviously other ones got ported to Xbox Live, like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. And there's like Fable Anniversary, I believe, in the Game Pass. That actually had an enhanced. So it's like some really good titles, and like, even though I was saying about like the sort of like lack of exclusives, I think obviously the Xbox is quite expensive, so I do own an X. I decided to get one of them over a PC. I know the PC is better, but I don't play many third-party titles. I think I play like 6 of years, mainly PlayStation or Nintendo exclusives and indies. So that's why I went for the One X, just for just the lack of big third-party titles I would actually play on PC. But even like the Xbox One S, like all this is on the One S. Like if you had a 4K TV or whatever, even the HDR for a One S, if you don't want to expert, you know, a decent TV. And I think there might be some TVs with HDR without 4K. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the Xbox One is like the best place to play retro games out of the 3 current systems. And, you know, not everyone, like, I've got, like, my Mega Drive plugged in, my Dreamcast plugged in, my 2 GameCubes plugged in, Wii U. Not everyone can have all those systems plugged in, but the Xbox One, like, you got this huge catalogue of, you know, now original Xbox games, Xbox Live titles, 360 titles, Xbox One titles. It obviously has the big games like your Witcher 3s, your Overwatches, your Far Cry 5s, and stuff like that people play. It's actually a really good system for that sort of thing. And even like, if you buy like a cheap one and like, oh, this is, you can show your kids, oh, this is what I used to play, here's Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive. It's really good. That's basically what I was just wanting to say, was the Xbox One is like the modern gamer's dream for retro gaming. Anyway, I'll be masofdas, and I'll see you again.